welcome to episode 3 of Halloween in New York City. And today we are on the Upper West Side. I feel like this time around, the name kind of gives you an indication of where this neighborhood is located, but just in case you're kind of lost, which rightfully so, I'm gonna help you get situated on the map. So the Upper West Side is a neighborhood that's located towards the west and the north of Manhattan. Its official limits are 59th Street to the south, 110th Street to the north, Central Park West and Central Park to the east, and the Hudson River to the west. And we are here on this neighborhood, you guessed it, because we are going to walk around and discover some Halloween decorations. I've actually never been to this area during October, during the Halloween season, so this is my first time. And I'm really happy to actually be documenting this for this video as well, so we can sort of like get to explore the area together. Now that we know the plan for today, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Laura. I live and work here in New York City, and on this channel I love creating content around life in the city, exploring different neighborhoods, different places, also talking a bit about my life as a new mom, as a creator, the behind the scenes, and the things that I like to do in my free time, which is mostly reading books. If you're new here and you still haven't subscribed, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can be notified of every time I upload a new video, which is usually every week or every 2 weeks. And you can also go ahead, follow me on Instagram as Pereira, as you're going to see right here. Now, and before we head off, I think we should address the two elephants in the room. First of all, I'm wearing short sleeve and we're nearing the end of October and I'm wearing short sleeves. Yes, October is a transition month, and what that means is that you can have some days where the weather is really cold. For example, last week and the week before, we had some really cold mornings. It almost felt like winter at times, but then some days like today, yesterday, and also tomorrow, it's hot. It feels like, I wouldn't say peak summer, but it definitely feels warm, which I don't love, but we are dealing with it. And the second thing that I wanted to address is that yes, I did cut my bangs. This is not a prop. I went to Rob Pedum in Williamsburg, which is like my local hairdresser nowadays. I didn't vlog this time for YouTube, but if you want to know the place and the people that I usually get my hair cut and color over there, I will leave a link to a video up here of my vlog of my last haircut, which was I think about like 2 months ago or so. But yeah, I got this. I think it was like perfect for the fall winter season when it's not so hot, and now it's very hot. And we're dealing with it, but I like it. I feel like if you have been following me for many years, you probably remember that I had a haircut very similar to this one like 8 years ago or so, and we're back. Anyways, that is the plan for today. That's the intro. Those are the two things that I wanted to address before heading off. So now that we are ready, let's go out and let's explore. Let's go. So here on the Upper West Side, we really know when the tradition to start decorating houses first originated. It was in 1971 thanks to Gwen Verdon. Gwen Verdon, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, she was a Broadway star, and at the time she lived in 69th Street in Central Park West, and she wanted to create an environment where her daughter could safely trick or treat. I know it's hard to picture now in 2024 and what the city looks like nowadays to think about like a safe environment, but for sure in the 1970s the city was a very different place. So she reached out to some neighbors in her block and thought of creating a place where kids of the area could walk around, safely do trick-or-treating, and her idea actually expanded, and now there's an actual association for neighbors of 69th Street between Central Park West and Amsterdam Avenue, where every year they do a special day around this time where you can safely come and go trick-or-treating, and it's something that has really expanded. And not only kids that live in the Upper West Side come to the trick-or-treating, but a lot of kids from all around New York City do. And this tradition that started in 1971, actually 2 years before the West Village Halloween Parade was actually a thing, actually expanded, and you can see all of these decorations not only on West 69th Street but all across the Upper West Side. And something that I also thought was interesting to add is that maybe you see some of these decorations and you're thinking, how do these people actually enter their houses? Because they block the whole front entrance. And the truth is that when people own the whole townhouse, so the 3, 4, 5, 6 floors, they usually have 2 different entrances. One is like going up the stairs, which is the one that they usually decorate, and they sometimes block that entrance for Halloween or for Christmas. And then if you look towards the right or the left of that main entrance, you'll see a small gated door and stairs going down like just 1 or 2 steps, and that is like a second entrance. At the time, the bottom floors would be for the service that worked at your house, and you would live on the top floors. Nowadays, usually the families that own the whole townhouse own every single floor, but what this lower floor gives you is the chance to actually enter your house because you have stairs that connect the whole thing, and you can still decorate the main entrance and even block it off and display all your Halloween decorations. Anyways, I don't have the best background here, but construction and scaffolding is something that's very popular in New York and very New York, so there you have it. We are going to keep exploring now, so let's go. I feel like there are three things that I noticed the most here on the Upper West Side when it comes to Halloween decorations. First of all, that they really lean into the scary, spooky vibes of this holiday. I have never shared this before, I think, here on YouTube, but I don't like horror movies. I don't like scary movies. I get easily scared with anything mildly suspenseful. So I think the decorations on this area, on this neighborhood, are probably my least favorite, just because I don't like, I don't know, like the dead people things and the blood and all that. That's like really not my vibe. But I celebrate that this area has like that theme, that topic, and they really go all in. They want it to be like a scary Halloween. They want it to be like very spooky vibes when it comes to the decorations, and I admire that. Second thing that I noticed was lots of pumpkins everywhere. I think that's similar to what we saw on the West Village. Here, people really utilize pumpkins to decorate their stoops, their stairs, their entrances, and I really like that. And the third thing that I noticed is that I feel like here on the Upper West compared to the Upper East, you notice a lot more, I would say, personal touches. I don't know if that is the correct word or the correct expression, but what I mean by this is that on the Upper East, you see a lot of really great, cool decorations, but sometimes you can feel that there was an expert hand behind that, someone that really knows about, I don't know, proportions and height, themes and color schemes. So you see that professional look on the Upper East. And here on the Upper West, I feel like you see more of like a human personal touch. You feel like the people that live in these houses are the ones that are actually decorating their stoops, which I think is really wholesome because you see a lot of carved pumpkins. So you can really tell that maybe a kid carved a pumpkin or maybe the whole family did it together. And you see like 3, 4, 5 carved pumpkins on their stoop, and that is really cute. Or some other decoration touches that you know and you can tell that a kid did that. So I think that's also beautiful. Also, I feel like you see a lot more decorations kind of put together where there's not really a theme, but more like, okay, I love skeletons, you like spider web, we all love pumpkins, and we do something with all that. And also there are some decorations that I think you see year after year. Even though I have never been to this area during October and during Halloween, I have seen pictures, and some of the decorations that I've seen from last year, 2 years ago, even like 5, 6 years ago, some of them are the same, which I guess tells you that maybe the people that live here actually store their decorations, and then every October they bring them back out and they do all the decorations themselves. If you like this video, I feel like you're really going to love episode 1 of Halloween in New York City, walking through the Upper East Side, the one that I mentioned earlier, if you haven't watched that already. And you're probably also going to like episode 2. That one was on the West Village, so towards the south of Manhattan. I really like filming that one and getting to explore that area also for the first time. And we're now coming to the end of this Halloween in New York City series. This episode is the last one that's going live before October the 31st. October is coming to an end. Halloween is upon us, so there's not going to be any more Halloween in New York City videos. Episode number 3, this one is the final one, but I really hope that you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I love seeing all these Halloween decorations, even though, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like scary stuff, I don't like spooky stuff. I feel like getting to see all this original, beautiful, amazing, larger-than-life decorations was definitely a treat. I also got my steps in because I walked a lot, especially on the Upper East and Upper West Side episodes. I went from like the 60s until the 90s, and also like a few avenues east and west. So I got in like a very nice walk, and I always love just walking around New York City. I mentioned this before, I think on episode 1, but October in New York City is really magical. You see all the leaves turning yellow, turning red, turning orange. The weather also starting to change. It's beautiful. I think that if you ever get the opportunity to walk around New York City in October, definitely do this. It's really a beautiful, beautiful time of the year here in the city. Beautiful season, especially if you walk around the Upper West or the Upper East. You can do this in like maybe 2-3 hours in the morning after breakfast and have lunch, and then walk through Central Park. Central Park in this time of the year is absolutely gorgeous. I'm probably going to do another video all about Central Central Park in fall. because I think it's something that you really need to visit. Right now I'm sitting on a bench right outside of Central Park, so while I'm talking I'm seeing literally Central Park. I just saw a squirrel, so it is really beautiful. I really hope that you like this video and episodes 1 and 2 if you watch them. If not, they will be linked down below in the description box. If you like this content, of course, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. We are really close to hitting 3,000 subscribers, so that would be like a treat to get to that milestone by the end of October. And you can also go ahead, follow me on Instagram as Pereira, as you're going to see right here. That is going to be everything for this video for Halloween in New York City for October on my YouTube channel. Really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I love sharing all this New York City content with all of you. And now, and as I always say, I will see you on the next one. Bye!